Hey everyone. This blog is going to be about buying your first mace or buying your first military baton. Let's say that you want to buy a mace. There are certain things you want to consider. First of all, you want to consider what type of finish do you want. For example, here we have a brass mace and standard chrome mace. A lot of people tend to go with the chrome mace because they're cheaper. The brass maces are about, well, I don't know their prices right now because I know that I usually got all my maces from marchingworld.com, but I know that their maces recently had a price increase. So when I bought these, this one was $125 and this one was $150 because of the brass finish. The second thing to consider is what color shaft do you want? Of course, here it's a white shaft. Here we have a wood look shaft. This shaft is designed to look like wood grain. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but it's supposed to look. It's brown, and it's supposed to look like wood. They also have a wide variety of colors to choose from. Like they have also basic black. They also have so the colors they have for the shafts are black, white, wood look, and then they also have if you want to go your school colors, they have red, and they have two types of red. I don't know, you have to kind of specify. They have kind of like a hot fire engine red, or they have like a dark like crimson red. It's kind of the luck of the draw with what you get. And then they have two types of blue shafts, which you have to kind of specify which one you want because it's not on their website. They have a royal blue, and they also have a sort of a, like, I can't describe it, it's more of like a hot electric blue. Okay, the blue that I'm talking about is sort of like this blue, a very like shiny electric blue. Yeah, they'll actually make it in that blue. You just have a special request the color. Another thing you want to consider when buying your mace is what type of wrapping do you want. You have two options of wrapping your mace. First of which is, a lot of people tend to go with the chains because just how they look. As you can see, the chain is a crisscross chain. It wraps all the way down the shaft, all the way to the end. Your other option are cords. As you can see, this is actually an example of the double corded mace, or double corded technique, which I'll probably do a video on how to actually wrap your mace in cords. Now, a lot of people tend to go with these types of maces with wrapping because it's no extra charge to wrap your mace, but the problem is it's really hard. It's choosing the two types. Now there are certain drawbacks to the chain and the cords. The chains, for example, if you spin with chains a lot, and you drop it on concrete a lot, your chains will tend to grind into concrete, and hence they will sharpen. So it feels like you're spinning a mace that has rocks embedded into it, and they tend to hurt your hands. A lot of people, when they have chains on, they'll spin with gloves, and sometimes that doesn't really help because these rings will sometimes come undone and they will get caught in the fabric of the glove, so that's something to consider. And also, mace's chains are very hard to maintain. They get loose a lot. If you listen, these are very loose. They're supposed to be tight on the mace. When you first get your mace and it's wrapped in chains, they're going to be very tight on the mace, so therefore when you actually spin it, you can't hear any of the rattling. So tightening the mace chains are very hard to maintain. Now if you want the mace chains, go ahead and get it. They look good, and they also sometimes some people say they make the mace spin faster, and I think, yeah, they do, kind of, because it makes the mace a slightly bit heavier. It makes, and also reduces drag on the mace when you toss it in the air. Your other option is cords. Now, drawback with cords is that they make the mace heavier, like the chains, but the problem is they make the mace spin a whole lot slower because of the tassels in the end, the tassels and all the lumps, the sort of rope on the mace. It makes the mace, it increases the drag on the mace, so it spins a whole lot slower, and it's a lot more bulkier, as I guess you would say. It's a lot bulkier to spin. Your other option is to get a mace just blank. You can also order it without chains, without cords. And if you notice here, when people take off their chains and cords, you have the screws left in the mace. Right there. See? They recommend not removing those. You can also option, if you get it blank, there are no screws in this mace. You can also get it like that. It also makes the mace about $10 cheaper, I believe. So that's one thing to consider. The drawback of this is that if you ever want to put chains or cords in it, you're pretty much screwed out of luck, because you don't have screws in there, and if you go out and buy screws and put them in there, you're pretty much more likely going to damage your mace rather than get a nice looking mace. Another thing to consider when buying your mace is the height of the mace. Now, I'm about 5'11", 6 foot tall, so a full length mace, which is about 60 inches tall, would be perfect for me. If you're around probably 5'10", 5'9", still you can opt to get a full length mace. Now, there are some people who are vertically challenged, so Peacock's Marching World also has the option of shortening your mace. What they will do is that they will cut the mace from the ferrule, probably around, they'll cut the mace from the ferrule, and the maces can be shortened up to 5 inches. It's $20 extra for labor for sawing down the mace, but if you are vertically challenged, if you're vertically challenged, get your mace shortened, because it's gonna help you. It's gonna be a whole lot better for your performance rather than spinning a really, really long mace. I've known people who actually were, when they stood with their mace, were about, that's how tall the mace was compared to them. That's how tall the mace was compared to them, and yeah, it's kind of sad. And the sad part was, they believed that they were gonna grow into their mace. Problem is that they were 17 years old. You're not gonna grow anymore. One thing that I need to warn you about is, when you get your mace, a lot of people tend to think that, oh, I got a freebie, I can use it. When you get your mace, you're going to get a little free thing that comes with your mace. With the American maces, you're going to get a practice crown, which is going to come on top of your mace, and inside the dome, when you open the dome, inside there will be an eagle crown. Now, the eagle crown, I recommend under no circumstances must you ever spin with the eagle crown. They are dangerous. You can injure yourself with them, because the wings will break off, and they will have very sharp, jagged pieces, and you can really injure yourself with them. I've known a lot of people who actually injured themselves with eagle crowns. So don't spin with the eagle crown. The eagle crowns are probably good for if you're going to, if you're doing exhibition, when you're not spinning, or if you're doing band pictures. So another thing to consider is the lion crown. A lot of people will spin with the lion crown. I recommend never spinning with the lion crown, or any type of crown. Don't spin with any type of crown other than the practice ball crown.